Hi all, today we are going to discuss about Fourier analysis of control rectifiers. So the instantaneous value of the input current to the rectifier can be represented in the Fourier series form as the sum of the fundamental and the multiple frequency components as I of t, which is varying with respect to time, is equal to A naught plus, now the sum of the higher order harmonics, this is the DC component, so n is equal to 1 to infinity, an cos n omega t plus bn sin n omega t. So this way I can represent, where this value of a naught, the a naught will be equal to 1 by 2 pi, because it is a DC component. You have to take the integration for the whole duration, that means the complete full wave duration. So 1 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi I of t d omega t, because we are taking omega t as my x-axis or the reference time axis. So now coming to the value of an, this an calculated by 2 divided by 2 pi, integration from 0 to 2 pi. So this one, what we will do, whatever is my input value I of t multiplied by cos n omega t d omega t. So in this form I can represent. So similarly I can calculate my value of bn is equal to 2 divided by 2 pi into integration from 0 to 2 pi I of t into sin n omega t d omega t. So this value of this I of t can be represented in another form also as this I of t is equal to a naught plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity, that means 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. This I can represent as Cn into sine of n omega t plus theta. This will be very useful for harmonic analysis purpose. So let us try to see each one of these. So now what I am doing, I am just representing this equation number 1, this entire an cos n omega t plus bn sin n omega t I am writing in the form Cn sin of n omega t plus theta 1. So let us see whether this is correct or not. So I am doing the backtracking, where this value of Cn we are going to prove that Cn will be equal to square root of an square plus bn square, and the value of theta n is tan inverse of an divided by bn. Tan inverse of an divided by bn. So let us try to prove this one. So what I am doing, I am going to prove that this sin n omega t is going to give the same result. So the Cn is nothing but equal to, I am representing with different color so that you can differentiate, that we are just deriving this. So this will be square root of an square plus bn square into sin a plus b. This entire thing I am writing here. Sin a plus b I can write in the form sin a cos b, agree with me, sin of n omega t into cos theta n plus cos n omega t into sin theta n. So let us try to represent these things. So this theta n, from this I can construct a triangle. So this angle is theta n, because we know that tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. That means that this is nothing but an, this value is bn. So square root of an square plus bn square I am taking as cn, this will be equal to cn. So from this I can write cos theta 1 is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So this one is nothing but equal to adjacent, that is bn divided by cn. So this also, the cn I am directly taking it so that the analysis will be easy. Cn, and similarly this sin theta n, is equal to opposite by adjacent hypotenuse. So this will be an divided by cn. So cn will cancel. So you can see here this is becoming equal to bn sin n omega t. This is an cos n omega t. So we are getting the same answer. So we are getting the same answer as before. So that's why this is the proof that we can represent in this form also. I think this is clear up to now. So let us go to the analysis of this, how we can apply the Fourier series for analyzing the full wave rectifier. So to analyze the control rectifier, I am taking a bridge rectifier as an example, and I am taking a load in such a way that your output current is continuous and having a constant magnitude. If it is having a variable magnitude, you have to take the equation for the current. That will be little complex. If you are taking the constant value, it will be easy. That's why we approximate with some minimum error that your output current is nearly constant. So this we can approximate for the case of RL load, where the value of L is equal to very high. So in that case we can assume it as approximately constant. So this is my input voltage VAB, and we have already seen this, so I am not going into detail. This is VBA, and at the instant of alpha, thyristor T1 and T2 are triggered. So when the thyristor T1 and T2 are triggered, the output voltage will be, this A will be connected here, this B will be connected here. So your output voltage will be VAB. So you can see here it is following VAB. Up to what instant it will follow? It will continue up to pi plus alpha. So at pi plus alpha, thyristor T3 and T4 are triggered. When the thyristor T3 and T4 are triggered, you can see this B is connected to thyristor T3 to here, and this A is connected through thyristor T4 to here. That means output voltage will be equal to VBA. What is VBA? VBA is this one. So your output voltage is coming as VBA. So this is because of T3, T4. So like that it will continue. So your output voltage I am taking as constant. So the current taken from the source, you can see from pi to pi plus alpha, thyristor T1 and T2 are conducting. That means thyristor T1 and T2 are conducting means your current direction that to your load, because this is my I0. This I0 is supplied by thyristor T1. So from your supply, this is in the same reference direction. So that's why I can tell my source current is equal to positive. So now coming to when thyristor T3 and T4 are conducting. So when thyristor T3 and T4 are conducting, you can see here from B, it will go to your output, it will return back and come to your thyristor T4 through A, it will return back. That means the current direction will be opposite to your reference direction. That's why I am representing your source current as opposite. Now calculating the average value of the output voltage. Average value of output voltage will be 1 by pi, because it is symmetrical only. So integration from alpha to, it is periodic, so we can do it. So alpha to pi plus alpha, V maximum sin omega t d omega t. So it will be equal to 2V maximum by pi into cos alpha, and the RMS value is equal to 1 by pi integration from alpha to pi plus alpha. So it is V maximum square sin square omega t d omega t whole to the power of 1 by 2. This will be equal to V maximum by root 2. So this we have already derived, that's why I am not deriving again. So now coming to the analysis of this equation. So I can write the equation in this form. IS, I want to calculate my source current. I want to see in the supply side how much harmonic components of the current are there, because voltage is sinusoidal but current is non-sinusoidal in your supply. And coming to the output, I want pure DC. So current is DC but voltage is not DC. So that's why in the output side we deal with the voltage ripples, and coming to the supply side we deal with the harmonics in the DC or ripples in the value of the current. So current component, harmonic components we see in supply. So let us see one by one in that. So first I am starting with IS of t. I can write as A naught, because as per the Fourier series, sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity Cn sin n omega t plus theta n. Agree with me? So from this I can calculate my value of A naught will be equal to 1 by 2 pi. We have seen 1 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi. I have to take I of t d omega t, right? So if you are taking your supply current, this is my supply current. So your supply current, you can see from alpha to pi plus alpha, it is positive I naught. And from pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha, what is the magnitude? This magnitude is again equal to I naught, but this value is negative, that is minus I naught. So same thing I have represented here. So from alpha to pi plus alpha it is I naught, and pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha its value is minus I naught. That's why I have written minus I naught. So in case if you are not taking the ideal case of pure DC, you have to substitute whatever the current equation is there. You got the output current equation form or input current equation form, you have to substitute that here. And how to derive the condition for the current or the current equation, we have already discussed in our previous lectures. You can please follow according to those lectures if you want the exact solution. So now coming to calculation of AN. So A naught, if you substitute, this will be equal to 0. Now coming to the AN will be 2 by 2 pi. So 2 will cancel. So it will be 1 by pi. So again, this component is having two components. One is for half part it is positive, another half part current becomes minus I naught. So that I naught I have to multiply with cos n omega t. So I have multiplied with cos n omega t d omega t. So then the integration. When you do the integration, this I naught is constant, so it will come out. So integration of cos n omega t will be equal to sin n omega t divided by n. So that n also I had taken out, it become I naught by n pi. This is sin n omega t. Integration from, we have to do substitute the limits as alpha and pi plus alpha. Similarly, the second term becomes minus sin n omega t, and the limits are pi plus alpha and 2 pi plus alpha. So when you substitute these limits, you will get this as sin of When you are substituting the top one, it will become n pi plus n alpha, and you are substituting the lower limit, we have to subtract, so minus sine n alpha. Now coming to this sum, when you are substituting the upper term, it will be minus sine 2n pi plus n alpha, and substituting the lower one, minus of minus will become plus sine n pi plus n alpha. So you can see here sine of 2n pi, that means 360 degrees plus n pi, again it will be equal to sine n pi only. So combining these two, it will become 2 times of sine n alpha, and combining the first one and last one, it will become 2 times of sine n pi plus n alpha. So what will be this term? This depends on what is the value of the n. So if it is an even number, it will add to this one, so it will both will subtract, because this and this will be same. So if the value of the n is even, that means n is 2, 4, 6, etc., this will be equal to this one but opposite sign, so it will result will become equal to 0. Whenever it is odd, then the sign of this one will be sine of pi plus n alpha will be equal to minus sine n alpha. So this will become minus 4 I naught by n pi sine n alpha. This is for n is odd number, that is 1, 3, 5, etc. So similar way, I can derive for the case of Bn. For the case of Bn, what I have to do? Output current, I have to instantaneous value, I have to multiply with sine n omega t and do the integration. So I have done here, it is a constant current, I have multiplied with sine n omega t. So when I am simplifying, directly we will get as 4 I naught by n pi cos n alpha. This is for odd numbers and 0 for the even numbers. So from this I can calculate my value of Cn will be equal to square root of an square plus bn square. So an and bn we have derived for the case of odd number. This will be this one. When you substitute here, because this one and this one both component are same, sine square n alpha plus cos square n alpha is equal to 1. So your output you will get in the output as 4 times of I naught by n pi. This is for odd number, and for even number of harmonics, so this value of Cn will be equal to 0. So now I can calculate my value of theta n, which is called as the displacement angle of nth harmonic current. The displacement harmonic of nth harmonic current means how much is the angle difference between, or the phase angle difference between the nth harmonic current and the voltage. So that will be equal to tan inverse of an divided by bn. This will be equal to tan inverse of, if you substitute the an and bn, you will get it as minus tan n alpha, because you will get as minus sine n alpha by cos n alpha. This will be tan n alpha. This minus I can take inside, tan inverse of tan of minus n alpha will be equal to minus n alpha. So here the minus is indicating that whatever the reference value we have taken, because we have taken that I of t is equal to Cn sin n omega t plus theta n. Plus theta n means it is leading, but actually the current doesn't lead. It is indicating this current will actually lag behind the voltage. It is not leading. So this negative sign indicates current is lagging behind the voltage. That is what is there. So when you are substituting in the value of I of t, Is of t, I can calculate it as, because the DC component becomes 0 and only component that will be there is odd harmonic components only. So this will be odd, n is equal to 1, 3, 5, etc. up to infinity, 4 times of I naught by n pi sine of n omega t minus n alpha. When you substitute, you will get this value. So now this RMS value will be, because this is nothing but equal to I maximum sine of something form. So RMS value of any harmonic component will be equal to this maximum value by root 2. So this will be 1 by root 2 times of 4 times of I naught by n pi. This will be 2 root 2 I naught by n pi. So up to here it is clear to you. So my major concern is the fundamental component RMS value. So fundamental component of the RMS value will be equal to, just substitute n is equal to 1. This will be 2 root 2 I naught by pi. So this is my fundamental component of current. So ideally from your supply, your whatever is supplied from your current, it should be fundamental component of the voltage and fundamental component of current only. But practically in the case of converter, it is not supplying the fundamental component of current. Along with the fundamental component, multiple odd harmonic components are also supplied. In the case of this type of waveform, that means rectangular waveform, we have seen this. So that indicates this is having a harmonic component. So how to analyze that we are going to see in the coming sections now. So now RMS value of the total input current. So RMS value of the total input current means, you can see here this input current waveform. So one half cycle it is positive, another half cycle negative, but having same magnitude. So if you take the RMS value of this current, RMS value of your supply current, so I am writing as ISR. So ISR will be nothing but equal to I naught only. So agree with me. Similar is the case, RMS value of your output current also, as it is constant, it will be equal to I naught only. So RMS value of the total input current, we have seen from there, it will be 1 by pi, integration from 0 to pi, I naught square d omega t whole to the power of 1 by 2, this will be equal to I naught. Even if you take 1 by 2 pi also, total integration also, as you are taking square of the value, it will become positive. So the resultant will be equal to I naught only for the case of your current supplied from the source. So if you substitute the value of theta 1, calculate the value of theta 1, you will get it as minus alpha, because theta is equal to minus n alpha, right? So n is equal to 1, it becomes minus alpha. So let us see the input performance measures. After that we will go for output side. So first one is the input displacement factor. So input displacement factor is nothing but cos of the angle between the fundamental component of the voltage and the fundamental component of the current. So that is called as the input displacement factor, that is cos theta 1. This will be equal to cos of, because here the theta 1 is equal to minus alpha, because this is actually minus theta 1, because we are taking current is lagging, but actually reference we have taken as positive. So this will be equal to cos alpha. So up to here it is clear. So let us proceed further. So now coming to the input power factor. So input power factor means the input voltage taken from the power supply is sinusoidal, but the shape of the current taken from the source depends on the type of the load, and hence it is generally non-sinusoidal. Even in our case also it is non-sinusoidal. So I am assuming that let Vs is equal to RMS value of the supply voltage and Is is the RMS value of the supply current, and IS1 indicates RMS value of the fundamental component of current IS1. So from this I can calculate my input power factor will be equal to mean AC input power divided by total RMS input volt amperes. That means what we will equate my input voltage, that means RMS value of my input voltage multiplied by RMS value of my input current. Remember, this is total input current, that will be equal to, because ideally only fundamental component should be there, only that will actually contribute for the energy transfer. We are going to see in the next section. So that will be equal to Vs. Vs is my, because always my input voltage is sinusoidal, because it is supplied from a sinusoidal source, only fundamental component of voltage will be there, whereas current is not having the harmonic component. So I will take the fundamental component of the current, that means fundamental component of source voltage multiplied by fundamental component of the source current multiplied by cos phi 1, that is displacement factor, which is angle between the fundamental voltage and fundamental current. So that is called as the input power factor. We can calculate the input power factor from this. So input power factor will be equal to IS1 by IS, because Vs is same in both cases, multiplied by cos phi 1. So when you substitute these values, you will get it as a 2 root 2 by pi, which is 0.90032. So now coming to the active power input. So only the RMS fundamental component of the input current contributes to active input power to the converter. So we can calculate my input power will be equal to Vs multiplied by Is1 multiplied by cos theta 1. So this will be equal to, Vs is nothing but V maximum by root 2 multiplied by, this is RMS value of my input voltage. So RMS value of fundamental component of current, this will be equal to 2 root 2 I naught by pi. We have already calculated it. So this will be 2 root 2 I naught by pi into cos alpha. This theta 1 become minus alpha, so this will become cos alpha. So when you substitute it, 2V maximum by pi into I naught cos alpha. So this is 2V maximum by pi into cos alpha. We have derived in our previous classes, and even today's class I have given the example. This 2V maximum by pi into cos alpha is nothing but average value of your output voltage. So this is nothing but V naught, and I naught is the average value of your output current. So this is I naught. So input power is nothing but average voltage multiplied by average current. That means average output voltage multiplied by average output current. So now how to calculate the reactive power? Reactive power supplied from the source will be equal to Vs into Is1 into sin alpha. So this will be, again I have substituted the things. I am multiplying and dividing with cos alpha. So this component multiplied by cos alpha is nothing but V naught multiplied by I naught. Now what is the extra term that is remaining? Sin alpha by cos alpha. So this sin alpha by cos alpha will become equal to tan alpha. So Qi will be equal to V naught I naught tan alpha. Using that I can calculate. So now input current distortion factor. It tells that how much your current is distorted. So this current distortion factor is represented by CDF is equal to RMS value of the fundamental component of current divided by RMS value of my total input current. So this will be nothing but IS1 divided by IS. So ideally I want this value should be equal to 1. But practically the CDF value will be less than 1. Ideally CDF is 1, practically it will be less than 1. If you substitute IS1 and IS, you will get it as a 2 root 2 by pi, which will be 0.90032. So from this I can calculate the power factor I can represent as CDF multiplied by DF. Power factor I can represent as CDF multiplied by BF, because the reason is we have seen the power factor is equal to IS1 by IS into cos phi. So IS1 by IS is nothing but CDF. So CDF multiplied by that cos alpha or cos phi is nothing but that is equal to displacement factor. So we can calculate in this way also. Now coming to input current harmonic factor. So ideally my supply should only supply the fundamental component, but some higher order harmonic components or unwanted components are also supplied from your source. So I want to know how much is that component. So out of this total current I can tell how much is the harmonic component. So out of the total current, remove the fundamental component, remaining all constitute for the harmonic component. Agree with me? So that's why I can calculate IH is equal to square root of total current supplied from the primary side IS square minus out of that remove the fundamental component. Remaining all current will be equal to harmonic only. This is IS1 square. This will be RMS value of all harmonic components combined together. So from this I can divide my harmonic factor, which is also called as a total harmonic distortion. That means THD, which will be equal to harmonic component divided by fundamental component. So ideally harmonic component should be 0 or the harmonic factor or THD should be equal to 0. But practically always there will be some harmonic component which can be obtained by IS square minus IS1 square by IS1. So you take IS1 inside, this will become IS by IS1 whole square minus 1, or this I can represent as this IS1 by IS is nothing but CDF. So I can write as 1 by CDF square minus 1. So when you are substituting the values, you will get its value as 48.343%. That means in a full converter, fully controlled converter, so your total harmonic distortion will be nearly 48.343%. That much harmonics are there in the current. So now voltage ripple factor. So this is mainly concerned with the output, because in the case of rectifier I want my output voltage also should be DC or constant value, but practically the voltage is not constant. We are seeing that it is following your input waveform. For some duration it is discontinuous, or it is continuously varying, it is not constant. So that is represented by voltage ripple factor. Again, voltage ripple factor is the ratio of ripple voltage divided by average voltage. So what is the ripple voltage? Ripple voltage is nothing but like similar to the current, total RMS value square minus fundamental component square. So fundamental component means in the case of output side of your converter, I want the ideally output voltage should be DC. So that's why total RMS value of the voltage square minus DC component square or the average component square will give you the ripple voltage. So that ripple voltage I am dividing with the average value of the voltage or the ideal voltage that is required. So if you substitute, this will become equal to VOR divided by V0 whole square minus 1. So when you substitute, this will be pi square divided by 8 cos square alpha minus 1. So I am just summarizing the analysis what we have done till now. So we have observed that in the case of full converter, the harmonics that are present mainly in the fundamental side are the odd harmonics only. That means 1, 3, 5 only those are there. Even harmonics becomes equal to 0. DC component is also equal to 0. And that ripples, how to analyze the ripples that we have seen, and we have observed that we are getting a ripple factor or total harmonic distortion we are getting as 48.343% in the input current. So now coming to the output side, the purpose of the rectifier is to generate the pure DC voltage and pure DC current. So as you are taking the DC as a pure DC as your output, so but your voltage is not pure DC. So I want to know that how much percentage of other frequency components are there other than DC. So to calculate that, what we will do, take the RMS value square minus average value square divided by average value, that is called as voltage ripple factor. So this is the voltage ripple factor we are getting. So voltage ripple factor will change, this voltage ripple factor will depend on the value of alpha. So when you are changing it, accordingly the ripple factor will change. So I hope Fourier analysis of the control rectifier is completely clear to you. So if you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.